Hello students, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Online Tayari and I'm Meghna. I'm here to explain today's current affairs. The first question we have, which state or union territory has started the Sukhun COVID-19 Beat the Stress? You have four options. You can also guess the option because it's all in the news and it is option C, Jammu and Kashmir. So, the Department of Information and Public Relations, Jammu and Kashmir, has started the Sukoon COVID-19 Beat the Stress initiative. So, the initiative has been started to increase the awareness regarding the psychological impact of lockdown and steps to overcome them. So, the initiative involves telecast of program which will be telecasted every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Doordarshan Kashmir channel. Okay. So, during the program, eminent doctors, scientists, psychiatrists will share their knowledge on psychological health and measures to be adopted to keep stress levels under control, which is, which is the right thing that is needed at this particular time. So, very good initiative. Okay, let's move to the second one. Who has been appointed as the new president of Indian Steel Association? You have four options. It is option A, Dilip Oman. So, Dilip Oman has been appointed as the new president of Indian Steel Association for a term of 2 years, and the decision came in board meeting that took place on 19th May 2020. He is the CEO of ArcelorMittal Nippon India, and he's been appointed. So, this appointment it comes after TV Narendran, the managing director of Tata Steel. He resigned from the post of president of Indian Steel Association. Okay. Let's move to the third one. Which Indian railway factory has manufactured the most powerful indigenously built locomotive? You have four options. The right option is option B, Madhipura Electric Loco Factory. So, the Indian Railways has operationalized the first 12,000 horsepower locomotive made in India, which has been manufactured by the Madhepura Electric Loco Factory located in Bihar. So, the locomotive was put into operation by Indian Railways from Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Junior Station on 18th May. And the name of the locomotive is VAG12 with number 60027. With the launch, India became the sixth country globally to join the elite club of countries which produce locomotives with high horsepower indigenously. Okay, so the operationalization of the high horsepower locomotive on broad gauge tracks is for the first time in the world. Okay, you're clear with it. Let's move to the fourth one. Okay, the fourth question is, which zone of railways has developed the RailBot robotic device? It is option D, South Central Railway Zone. So, the South Central Railway Zone has developed a robotic device called RailBot, and the robotic device it is used for a two-way communication of audio and video, and it can be used with recording based patient and for the hospital staff. The device has a sensor based features for recording temperatures and other important information which can be viewed on mobile application. The device also raises an alarm in case it records an abnormally high temperature, drawing the attention of the doctors to the patients. Okay, so good initiative by the South Central Railway Zone. Let's move to the fifth one. What is the name of the app developed by National Testing Agency for helping candidates to prepare for exams? Okay, it is option B, National Test Abhyas. So, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, has launched the National Test Abhyas. It's a mobile application. And the National Testing Agency has developed the app to facilitate taking mock tests by the candidates for examinations like JEE Main or NEET exams under the ambit of NTA. So, to access the high quality mock test will be provided to the candidates from the safety and comforts from their homes. So, normalcy will be restored to some of the degrees with the launch of the facility for the students, as it will be helping the students in one vital area of test preparations. So, the app can be used by the students throughout the country, and it can be easily downloaded and it can be completed offline. So, thus, it will be resolving the issue of internet availability also. It's a very, very good initiative at the moment, because just because all the crises are happening, we cannot leave our education or we cannot leave the preparations of exams, right? So, it's a very good initiative by National Test Abhyas. Okay, let's move to the sixth one. Who has been named the new chairman of Executive Board of the World Health Assembly? It is option A, Dr. Harshvardhan. So, the Union Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, has been named the new chairman of the Executive Board of the World Health Assembly. He will take charge from Dr. Hiroki Nakatani from Japan, who is currently the chairman of the 34-member board. So, also note, students, the executive board, as I told you, it comprises of 34 members who are technically qualified in all their respective fields, and they're appointed for a period of 3 years. The main function of the executive board, it includes to formulate an agenda for the health assembly, to give effect to the decisions and policies of the health assembly, and also to facilitate the work in general. So, the meeting for finalization of the agenda of the World Health Assembly takes place in January. Okay, clear with it? Let's move to the seventh one. What is the theme of World Meteorology Day? You have 4 options. The right option is option B, measurements for global trade. So, the theme for the World Meteorology Day is measurements for global trade. The theme is selected to raise awareness about the importance of measurement in fair world trade, which ensures that products are meeting regulations and standards which satisfy quality expectations of the customer. The day celebrates the Meter Convention, which was signed on 20th May 1875. Okay, so it was by the representatives of 17 nations, and also note, the World Meteorology Day project is realized jointly by the International Bureau of Weights and Measures and the International Organization of Legal Metrology. Okay, clear with it, students? Let's move to the 8th one. Which country is the first to introduce testing of digital immunity passports for workplaces? Very interesting question. It is option D, Estonia. So, Estonia is the first country to introduce the testing of digital immunity passports for workplaces. The technology has been created by a team of which includes the founders of global tech startups TransferWise and Bolt. The initiative has been taken to assist in the safe return of people to the workplaces, and the testing data is collected by a digital immunity passport, which allows sharing of their immunity status using a temporary QR code. So, where is it generated? It is generated following a digital authentication. So, a QR code, it can be shared with a third party like an employer whenever required. Okay, clear with the students? Let's move to the 9th one. What is the name of an e-commerce venture launched by Facebook for helping small businesses? It is option C, Shops. So, the e-commerce venture Shops has been launched by Facebook to provide assistance to small businesses. The feature provides the businesses an opportunity to set up storefronts on Facebook and Instagram for free, and will also be supported by third-party e-commerce services like Woo, BigCommerce and Shopify. The initiative has been launched to help businesses amidst the coronavirus pandemic, which is leading to losses to the small businesses, leading to their closure. Okay. So let's move to the 10th and the final question for the day. Which country refugees are supported by UNRWA, to which Indian government contributed $2 million? It is option A, Palestine. So the refugees of Palestine is supported by the UNRWA, to which Indian government contributed $2 million. The Indian government has provided a contribution of $2 million to the United Nations Relief Fund Works Agency. So you understood what is UNRWA, right? So it is United Nations Relief Works Agency. So they're working in the Near East for the Palestine refugees to support the core programs and services of the agency, which include healthcare, education, relief, and social services. The fund has been given in response to the COVID-19 crisis for health, education, sanitization, and also hygiene. The agency, which has been working to deliver life saving and essential services throughout the Middle East to the Palestine refugees since the start of the pandemic, it will also use a large portion of the fund for cash and food assistance to the vulnerable population. Okay? So these are the 10 questions for today's students. So I hope you all are clear with all the 10 questions I have discussed until now. So tomorrow I'll be coming up with another set of MCQs, that is tomorrow's current affairs, especially for you guys. And stay tuned to Online Theory. Please do stay at home. Stay safe. This is Meghna signing off. Bye.